I gotta put it on me, otherwise everybody else will be showing out there. And while I'm leaning over, welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. So glad you all here. We're expecting a good show. I won't say great because I'm going to be putting this thing together live. So if anybody can mess it up, I probably can. So I will tell you this much. I've tried to be prepped a little bit. So I'm not going to lie. I did open the box, so it's not totally never been opened before. And I dragged the instructions out and I've been reading them. And I also found a good website. So at the end of the show, if my lovely panel will remind me to give out the I'll just go ahead and do it. If not, I'll forget the damn thing. So let's just go ahead and do it. But if you decide you want to buy one of these Ender 3s and you go through the directions like I did and went like, wow, go to this YouTube channel, No Limits 3D. That's No Limits 3D. And I'll try to my best to put that down on the comments or where y'all can find it. But if you decide to order one of these, watch his video. Probably one of the more professional done videos on a build that I've ever seen. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos. But he does a real good job, and I followed along with the directions, and he pretty well holds true to everything on these directions on how to put one of these together. So I watched him several times just to make sure so that I would hopefully not look like a buffoon tonight. So anyway, but yeah, No Limits 3D. If you decide to buy one of these and you look at the directions like I did and went like, wow. And he had a lot of good information. The second thing is the pallet challenge ended last night at midnight, I believe it was. I believe we have 17 entries, which is great. A lot of great entries. I am going to shoot for next Saturday being the announcement of the winners, but don't hold me accountable, or how I want to say that it is going to be next week. If not, it'll be the following. Well, it can't be the following week because I think that's when the weekend that I might not do the show because of my surgery. But anyway, but probably next Saturday we'll do the announcement for the pallet challenge. I pretty well backed myself into a corner because the following week I'm not sure which. I'm going in on the 13th. I think all of y'all that are friends with me over on Facebook and have read my posts, I have a hernia and I'm going in for the operation on the 13th. I've already went through all my preliminary, the EKG, the chest x-rays, the blood work, blah, 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 blah. And my doctor certified me Tuesday, I think it was, to that I was well and healthy enough to do the surgery. So he sent that information to the surgeon, and I'm scheduled for the 13th to the hernia operation. So I guess we're pretty well backed into a corner that next week going to be the pallet challenge winner. So put that down. Is Michelle Marcoux out there? If somebody sees him or if he shows up tonight, let me know that. I want to tell him something. So, but thank y'all for all being out there. I am sitting far enough away. Awesome Wood Things is out there. Driveway Wood Shop, which is Jim Bashir's. I can't reach the mouse, so I can't scroll through it. Somebody want to read off, and I'll change it over to you. Who's out there in the chat?
Whoever's out there, I will if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. I got locked on.
I see Michelle Marcoux out there. I'm here, gang, he says. Dennis Goodson, Jeff Robinson, Awesome Wood Things, Inspired Woodworks, Jim Bashir's, which is in their driveway workshop, Brenda G's, which is also on the panel. Inspired Woodworks. I'm probably repeating myself now. Andrew Haig is out there. Old Cranky Workshop, which is Chris. Aussie Man 77181. Jimbo 5312. Dan Engie Woodworking is out there. And that kind of, I think, looks like it.
Great. Well, that's great. Thank you, Al. So, yeah, Michelle, check your PayPal. You're my PayPal me. Check it, because you got a little prize in there. I had promised him that I was going to send him some stuff for butchering his name, and this has been a while back. And I sent him a package, and he never got it. And Tracking's got it going, or got it going to what do they call it in the other country where they have to look at everything? Anyway, Tracking's got it. Customs. Thank you. Tracking's got it at customs, but that's it. Nobody can. He said, "Thanks again, Russ. I guess you have discovered it." Yeah. Did you get it, Michelle? So anyway, this has been one fiasco after another. So I go to the post office, and what I'm going to do is to get a $25 gift card and just send it to him, right? And so I get the envelope. Yes, he got it. Great. I get the envelope. I buy the $25 gift card. I go up to the counter, and the lady tells me, "Are you going to," and she looks at the address, and she goes, "This is in Canada, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Are you going to put that gift card in that envelope?" And I said, "Yeah." I should have not showed her that. I should have already had it in there, and it probably wouldn't have had any problems. You're going to have to fill out one of these forms. And I'm like, okay. She goes, "Yeah, that's got to be claimed by customs by them," and blah, blah, blah. She explains it all. So she gives me this 15-page form that you got to fill out to for a letter, just because it has a gift card in it. I'm like, really? So anyway, I'm like, all right. Well, I looked through it, and I'm like, it's got to have a way to information. I'll bring this back the next time I come to the post office and mail it, right? You wouldn't believe what happened. I have no clue. And I know I called the post office back and asked them after about, if I have no clue what I did with that gift card. I don't know if I left it on the counter and somebody picked it up after I left or whatever. The gift card, poof, be gone, disappeared. So there's $25 out the window. I have searched my truck. I've tore it apart. I walked up and down the driveway where I come into the house. The gift card's gone. I have no clue as to where it's at. So anyway, to make a long story short, I was going to send the gift card to him. This is twice. So the other day he sent me an email going like, because I had asked him, "Do you have a PayPal me account?" And he was like, "I don't know if I know how to set that up, or I don't have it." Anyway, to make a long story short, he set one up, and I sent him $25 through PayPal me. So somebody's got a $25 gift card. I have a feeling I left it on the counter and it got picked up. So without any information, I have no receipt, and I contacted Visa and everything, and they said you have to wait for so many days before to see if it shows up that it's been cashed or whatever before they'll be able to anyway, to make a long story short, that's the saga of that. So I'm glad he finally got it, and I'm happy about that. So
I want to thank you for that card. I appreciate that. It came in the mail the other day. I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
Came in handy.
I think they're planning Donald out in the.
Let's talk about my beautiful, wonderful sponsors. They are Devobel Technologies. For web design, development, hosting, visit devobel.com. FastCap. Innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Klingspor, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com. And Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, seiko.com, for their wonderful scroll saws. And go to these places, buy something, and tell them Russ sent you. I would appreciate it. I mean, in today's time, we need to keep these companies, USA companies, and I'm not doubting that some of these companies don't buy things that are not made in the USA. That's not what I'm saying, but they are here in the USA, so support them. I know good and well Devobel doesn't do nothing but websites, so they're a 100% USA. So, but yeah, so if you don't mind, do that. So let's real quick go down the list, and I'll try to click on one by one. Let's start on my left, and that will be Brenda. Introduce yourself and tell us where we can find you.
Thanks, Russ. Howdy, y'all. I'm Brenda G of Brenda G's Designs. You can find me most any place on the internet by looking at Brenda G's Designs. I'm on YouTube, Etsy, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, probably a bunch more that I forgot about. But I'm about every place you can look at on the internet.
Great.
Thanks, Russ.
You're welcome. And next is Chris.
Hey guys, Chris here from the Old Cranky Workshop. You'll find me on Facebook and YouTube at the Old Cranky Workshop. And on weekends, you'll find me hiding in the shop itself. So
I might as well just stay up here like this, and so I can click on everybody. My laptop is actually on the other side of this work thing that I've got set up to put this thing together. So
you could use the exercise though. Get you ready for the surgery.
Oh, I know. Go ahead, Dixon.
Hi, I'm Dixon Hoffman from Hoffman Signs and Decals, and I have a website. That's about it. Thanks
Great.
for having me, Russ.
You're welcome. Jim. Don't
Oh,
look
sorry,
up
I
or
was-
look
I
down
was
like you're
typing
startled.
Yeah, I was typing a joke about you in the chat and you interrupted me there. Jim Bashir's from Driveway Workshop. I got a project back there on the CR10 that I'm working on, and I'm getting one of these enders like Russ will put together tonight, and it will go right behind my head there where that control panel is now. And I will continue to be a semi-expert and a chops buster in the chat for everybody. Back to you.
Cool. And then Katie.
Hi, my name's Katie. I'm on Facebook. That's pretty much it. And I come in here to aggravate Russ and see if I can disrupt the rest of the panel.
You do a good job of it too, sweetheart.
I try really hard.
I know you do. Especially about, never mind. Go ahead, Al.
Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well today. Everyone on the panel and out in the chat. Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop on YouTube. Kilroy79763 on Twitch. I've been streaming 2 p.m. Central, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and actually didn't do it today. Just had some IRL stuff, but you can look me up, Kilroy79763, all over the place, and you'll find me. Anyway, thanks for having me, Russ.
You should have had it Kilroy 8675309.
8675309. That's a song for tonight.
Russ Meadow.
Hi guys, Russ Meadows from the Rusty Nails Wood Shop. Y'all can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and not enough of YouTube to speak of. So glad to be here.
Great. And then back to me. So yeah, these are the instructions. They come nice and all folded up out of the box. And it's two-sided. Has quite a few pictures. It's not bad. It's not the worst by any means I've ever seen. But in the same aspect, it's kind of lacking in a few areas. But you could get it put together with this without too much of a problem. It's just there are a few things in it that I saw was a little bit I didn't understand, and that's the reason I reached out to our favorite place, which is YouTube, and ran across that No Limits 3D and watched his video, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. So I think I can do this. So let me first off, let me change the camera. You won't be able to see my beautiful, sexy, smiling face anymore. At least not till the end. I hope this works. Oops. So there we go. So yeah, here's the instructions. We have them, and I got the fan going in here. So I'm going to hook these up here in this corner to keep them from blowing away. And I have my glasses just in case I need them. So pretty well, let's go ahead and open the box. Like I said, I've been in here and got a few things out of it. So this is basically the way it comes packaged. Got a bag here with some filament and some extruder stuff. And I think this is the Z or X access stop right here, or limit switch, I should say. And a few other things. But I know by looking at it, this is for the belt that goes on there. Let me go ahead and move this down, box on down to the end, or get it close to the end down here.
You know, Russ, that was actually the printer that I saw up at the Fab Lab.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna buy, and then the guy said, "Hey, look, I got this Soldier Tech over here," and I ended up buying it.
So a bag with tools and bolts, zip ties, and a cardboard thingy-majig in there that I can't see what's in it. I know what this is by the video. This actually holds the spool at the top. You know, dad burn it. One thing I forgot to bring, if we do get this thing up where I think it can run, and we want to run it tonight, I'll have to go back. I'll have to take 5 and run back in my house to grab the filament. I forgot to. Well, we have this little bit of filament. Yeah, but if I start one of those projects, it might not be enough. So this is they call it the spatula, but it's for scraping your project off of the table.
That's funny because that's what we call it over here too.
Okay, well.
That's for scraping your project off the wall when you get mad and pull it.
I call it a putty knife.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it does look like a putty knife, doesn't it?
Yeah, when we were doing
I was thinking of scrambled eggs. Sorry, I'm hungry.
But yeah, we look like a putty
Really
knife.
good to get up underneath the print before you know, to get it off.
We have the cord, which is I'm glad to see this is like the American cord. I have to get used to where I'm at here underneath the camera, because this thing will go to several other places. You have to tell them when you order it where it's USA, because our power cords are different from a lot of people's. I think the power supply is the same, and that's one of the things we'll get into in just a little bit, is about you have to change the settings on the power supply to make sure that it's fits where you are. In other words,
Input selectable.
yeah, because European countries use 220 or 240, 230, something like that. And we here in America are based on, for most of our appliances, 120. Yeah, so. All right, so at this part, the way that this thing is packaged, that's for the spool also. I need to go ahead and try to pull this base out. Now, I had talked to some people, and they say that, which I'm glad to see this. This is the top piece that goes on the base plate, but most of the time it is actually glued to the aluminum extruded plate that's underneath this. I'm glad to see that they have not done that. This is actually removable, and these 4 clips, I can tell right now, will allow this plastic piece to be removed, because from Dixon and a lot of other people that I've talked to actually want to put like a mirror down on here to use. So I'm really glad to see that this will actually come off. So, but let's see about if I can get this piece out.
Russ, what size bed is that? Is it 300 by 300?
I don't know if it's 300 by 300 or 200 by 200, or I'm not quite sure.
I should know this.
This is
230 by 230.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't look
Thank
as
you
big as
for looking that up. This is just a piece of, I thought it was something at first, but it's a piece of wood between the foam just as a kind of like a separator. At least I hope I don't need that. And then we've got the, I think this is the Z-axis motor. Then we've got the X
filament drive.
That looks like X and Y, probably.
Yeah,
X, the filament drive and the
filament drive. Yeah, something like that. Motor.
No, the filament drive's right there on the bottom of the board, isn't it? Sticking out.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a filament drive. Then this is the panel for to run it, for lack of better terms to put it, but it's the panel to run it in, and that's that. Some of this stuff I'm going to turn around and probably set it over out of my way behind me in a few minutes, and then we have the actual power supply, and one of the we'll get to that in just a second. But other than that, I think I have gotten everything out of this box. So
did you have any more tools with it other than the spatula? I had to jump out of here for
a
second.
Yeah. It came with a little
toolkit and the and something to clear the nozzle with.
Yes, it's in one of these bags. So I've already dropped a piece on the ground. Thank God it wasn't the electronic components. It was that. Okay. So let's clear this away. Let's clear this away. And there we have the main part of it. I'm going to leave that kind of like back like that. Okay. We're not going to need the power supply, so I'm going to turn around and set that behind me. I'm going to set some of this stuff behind me, and I'll go back and get it when I actually need it. Probably going to be a long night, guys.
Yeah, but it'll be well worth it.
Okay, so I do know by looking at the instructions, I need to get these bolts out. Open up this bag, in other words. And I started to have a bunch of like little Tupperware type bowls. I started to bring them out. Drop these parts in. But oh well, I didn't. Okay. A little set of nippers. Is that for cutting a filament?
Yes.
Okay, cool. For cutting the filament. Those are cute. I bet you, you know what? I bet you they would work on your...
Trust me, Russ, they do.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool that they include the tools, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
There's a little bag of tools that we'll use to put together. What you were asking about, Jim, to clean the nozzle, it's in this little piece of styrofoam. Oops. And it's like a needle thing that's in this styrofoam. Is that what you're talking about?
Hey, Russ, there's a question in the chat.
Yes.
Matt would like to know, can Russ quickly go over the capabilities of this model and state the cost?
As far as the capabilities, I will leave that to Dixon, and he can tell you about that. But let me tell you, when I bought this one, it was normally $100 and I think they had it on for $199. They had marked it down that weekend or that week or whatever to $179. And then I had a coupon that gave me like 20% off that took it all the way down to $159. Under normal circumstances, this thing runs probably about $199. As far as its capabilities, I know the bed, Dixon just said it was 230 by 230. What should I expect to be able to actually print on this width, width and length, and then probably height? Dixon, you should be able to tell us that.
Your Z-axis should be a little bit higher, somewhere around 240. You can actually do 230, 232, but when I set it up, I left it at 230, so you got a little room on the sides, and you'll be able to print your three major filaments. You'll be able to do PLA, ABS, and PET G. And if you do a little modifications to the bolt, and you'd be able to do Ninja Flex on it. The more rubbery, softer materials.
So did you understand that, Matt?
And then if you enclose the unit, then you can get into your ABS and nylons to keep it hotter inside while it's printing.
Okay. All right, so I do know that's the belt for the belt drive. Not sure what this is as at this moment. I don't remember seeing that. There's some bolts. I know what these are for. These are nuts for the slots. These we will not need for right now. Set them back here. More nuts and bolts. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. These two pieces I'm not going to use for a little bit, so I'll set them off to the side. We start out with by the instructions. Let me go ahead and pull the tools out. We want to put these two side rails that go here and here on each side on. They are in this bundle here. Oh, and that's the screw for, I believe, the Z axis. It's in a sleeve to protect the threads. So we'll start off with these two. Let me get my razor knife so I can cut through. This plastic. By the end of the night, I'm going to be a hurting puppy. I can tell you that I have back problems, and the position that this table's in is I need it to be about 4 inches higher. So these are the two sidebars. They will come up and make, I guess, for the Z-axis, but come up each side. I do know that there is a difference in them by looking at the instructions over here, and by knowing what I have watched is this has two holes in it, and this has two holes in it at the bottom. So there's a hole here and a hole here, and two at the bottom. Okay, so this is the left piece, and those two holes go at the bottom, and this is the right piece, and those two holes go in it like that. So I'm going to need to install them. M25, I believe it was. M5 by 45. M5 by 45s. So I'm going to need 4 of these and 4 lock washers. Now, I watched this guy tell me for a little while on one of his videos that lock washers were like the biggest piece of crap there ever was. I'm thinking to myself, "Boy, you an idiot." Now, I do know that there's lock washers for different circumstances and what you want to use them for. For instance, these are circle type lock washers that are split and made out of like spring steel. And I don't know if it's going to focus in or not, where one side's higher than the other. so that when you compress this washer, it puts those two pieces together. And what that does is it adds a little resistance. It's like Loctite. It pulls back on the thread, so to speak. Here's a good way to explain it. I've got this pulled down onto my piece as tight as I can get it. Well, that spring is putting pressure, exerting pressure this way, which actually helps keep those threads from backing out. They work. I know they work. There are star lock washers. And those are actually better for high vibration. I know those work. But my point is, for him to not even put them on and say there were lock washers were totally useless, I felt real quick like this guy has no clue as to what the heck he's talking about. So these actually work. I know they work. Under the, what I would say, heavy vibration, I know that the star ones work a little bit better. So anyway, we got these 4 here. And put this other one on here. Oh, come on. Wow. You are going to be rough on me tonight.
Do I still have an echo?
Nope.
Okay, good. I was going to say, there are times also when you're putting together something with a lot of precision, when they engineered that, whatever, the machine or device, they compensated for the space that those washers would take up.
That's a very, very good point, Katie.
And
you're exactly right.
They're there to do a job to begin with.
You're exactly right. That little washer, they might, when they engineered this and spec this out, be the difference in the thickness of that little washer and this screw bottoming out in the bottom of the thing. So yeah, you're exactly right. So yeah, for him to make
a calendar, I was right for once.
For him to make such a
that was a goofy statement.
Yeah, for him to make such a stupid statement, they're actually useless. I was thinking to myself, dude, you don't really have a clue, do you? Now it's just a matter of getting this lined up. Oh, this is such a fun night. We're having a blast.
You gonna sing too?
If you don't like my singing, you can kiss my ask me no more questions, and I'll tell you no more lies.
8675309. 8675309.
Now I did watch one of these things where and you want to snug these up pretty good. Now you have to realize this is aluminum. You get it, you go too far and you're going to strip it out as far as the snugging up. So
aluminium,
aluminium, yes. So, and I heard the guy say he was impressed, and yes, I am impressed too about how good when that locks in. Wow, that is pretty sturdy. So we do this side the same way. Aluminium. And let's go ahead and put the washer on this one.
Oh, and I did a lot of expense on those clips to hold that top down.
Yeah, I do want to say this too that I did not say in the beginning of the video or the beginning of the show, and that is, once again, for all those that you sent me money for PayPal me for my birthday.
Money.
I do appreciate it because that is what I use to buy this. So those of you who know who you are, I've seen y'all out there in the chat participating every week. And a lot of you, or most of you, have told me that they did not want any recognition, so I'm holding true to that. And I understand that. I understand your reason, but I also see you out there in the chat every week, and just would like to say again, thank you so very much for thinking of me on my birthday. So we get this put in. Dixon, am I looking good so far?
Yes. Yes, it looks good. And just make sure on your right piece that the two holes are on the lower bottom for your power supply to bolt on.
Yes, they were.
I think you got them on the bottom. That looks real nice.
Dixon, we had to go through this when he got his Seiko scroll saw too. He gets the new tool. We have to watch him put it together.
Okay. Now I'm going to do something here real quick because I have this thing up on its side.
He's going to throw me off the show.
And
one thing.
Yeah, he's going to reach over.
I want to give you a knuckle sandwich.
You're gonna wish. I'll meet you out in the parking
this
lot.
is supposed to be like
laying down and bleeding and stuff.
Oh my God. This is supposed to be, I think, 32 millimeters off the bottom of this for something that's coming up. And I know that's coming up because I read the instructions and watched the video. So I'm going to go ahead, since this thing is nice and flat and laying here, and mark off the 32 millimeters. Well, let me explain something to you. I don't really have to mark it off because the 32 millimeters comes to the bottom of this right here. I mean, it is right on. Oh, I take that back. It's a little lower than that.
Your ruler starts.
Yeah, the ruler starts like 2 or 3 centimeters. I'm glad I caught that. Thank you. Okay, so I can't mark it actually because it's actually below this. Maybe I can mark it in here.
Probably right in the air will work.
No, I'll put a little mark in there. I think that's
Yeah, we can see it too.
Well, that'll give me an idea as to about where I need to go. I just want
Put 2 or 3 more marks in there, and you try to figure out which one was right.
Oh, shut the hell up! So that's the mark I'm looking for.
Tell me when to kick her. Tell me when to kick her, Russ.
Okay, so I got this done. Okay, so next, I believe I want to put the power supply on. I'll go by my instructions over here. So this is the power supply. It tells me, what the heck is falling? That thing fell off again? Jeez. It tells me 2 things, that this goes to the outside, which is like this, and I need to check the voltage. And sure enough, this is set on 230. So I need to change that. So it comes with a little screwdriver. Let's see if that screwdriver will let me. And sure it does. I was able to flip this over, and now it's on 115.
It's a miracle.
So there we go, 115. This is going to go on this side like this, and it's going to require 2 pieces of I already changed that. Well, what's the actual bolts for these? Oh, M4 by 20s. M4 by 20. That's the
M stands for metric.
Yes, it does. So metric 4 by 20. So what's your point?
And is 4 millimeters?
I have no clue. I come from inches and feet type of guy. So
Because
I think it's 4 millimeters and it's 20 threads per inch. Is that correct?
I think
Yes,
it's 20
it's
millimeters.
4 millimeters. It's a 4 millimeter bolt, and
I think it's 5 millimeters and 20 inches per hour.
The length is 20 millimeters, and the width is 4 millimeters.
yes.
Okay, this is a different Allen wrench to put these in. So, oh, hold on. I do have it on wrong. I can't have it on wrong. I must go out here like this. Okay. It goes out farther than I thought it did. Because these holes are at the bottom and this is at the bottom. So, never mind. I'm just talking to myself. I have no clue as to what I'm going to say to myself next. But
We are listening, Russ. Professional streamer that keeps talking.
Yeah, the two holes should be inside on the bottom, facing the heat bed.
it can't on the inside.
Yeah, then you might have it flipped because your power supply, the holes should be facing inside the bed, but then the two holes for the power supply have to be.
Where were you at 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, I thought you had it
We were
right.
watching you being screw
Yeah.
up.
You said you had it right.
You said you knew what you were doing, so we all shut up. Well, some of us did.
Jeez. Well, they're not on the inside, they're on the outside.
Awesome Wood Things says, find the hole, Russ.
I don't have any problem finding a hole.
See if there's any other questions. I bet Brenda's been watching, right, Brenda?
Yes, I've been watching.
I
We got some new people that were brave enough to put a comment in the chat. Steve Carmichael's
Right.
out there. There's Jeff Robinson's out there now.
Can't hear you, Jim.
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Really?
your volume's really low tonight.
Oh, hang on a minute.
It was actually good earlier, it just went to hell. So grand or Papa or Daddy Shark doo 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 Daddy Shark doo 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 Daddy Shark doo 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 Daddy Shark. My grandkids have been over this week, so we've been watching it. Mama Shark doo 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 Mama Shark doo 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 doo. Y'all ever heard of that?
If you're enjoying the singing, remember it's a 3-drink minimum tonight.
Mama Shark. Okay, now that the man that was supposed to be there watching me and making sure I was doing this right has failed me. Now we got this correct. Okay, so let's lay it back down on the table.
It's live. It has to be real.
Is it live or is it Memorex? Now these are I'm reading this right. M4 by 20s. M4 by 20s. Okay. Oops. This one. Yep, the nuts slip all the way down in there. So guess what? I have it right. Or the bolts, I should say. The head of the bolt slips all the way down in there. So I was just wanting to see if Dixon would help me out, and he didn't, so he failed the test.
Dixon doesn't like you any better than the rest of us.
So let's tighten these up. And remember, these don't take a lot of force. You'll strip them in a heartbeat.
Matt, I'm not repeating that one.
What do you say? Russ, nuts are right. That's good. Yep. You know, I'm really going to have a rough time after the surgery, when I need to go to the bathroom, because the doctor told me I can't lift over 8 pounds.
Oh.
Wow, we're over time tonight, folks. That's it. See you later.
He was talking about your belly.
Chris goes into, well, you can't stay here. You got to go home, folks.
So, okay.
Dream on, dream on.
So we got this. We got this put on here. So the next, according to the directions over here, is the front panel for the electronics, and that takes two of these M5 by 8 screws. M5 by 8.
Speaking of having to lift all that weight, are you still on your diet? No.
Yeah, I'm on my diet.
Still not drinking.
I'm on my diet.
It's a seafood diet. He sees food and eats it.
I've seen him drink.
He didn't answer. He didn't answer the question. You notice.
I said I'm
No,
on my
he didn't.
diet. Me and my wife actually, and this is the truth. We went through our cupboards and our freezer and wrote everything down that we had, and was trying to figure out, so we wouldn't have to throw food out. In other words, was trying to figure out how we can eat what we have, and make it less fattening, if you get my term. And so that when we buy new food, that we will buy stuff that's more chicken, more, so she's even on this with me to help lose weight. And so, yes, so I am on a diet, and I'm trying very hard to stay to that. Is it perfect as far as do I hold to it every day? Probably 90% of the time. But anyway, so get the hell off of this subject and get back on where I'm going. This is an anti-static bag, and I do know that the components on this board, this is an anti-static bag. The components of this board are like computer chips and computer stuff. So you do want to be careful. One of the ways you can is by reaching in and grab this piece of metal. I know this by working on the computers. In order to make sure you don't have static on you, just touch the machine you're going to put this thing on. That's all you got to do. And then once you pull it out of the static bag, make sure you touch the machine before you make contact with it. Yeah, that will displace any static electricity.
Do not pet the cat and then go grab onto your electronics devices.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Just simply grab a hold of if it's a computer, grab a hold of the computer case before you, and that will discharge any static buildup. This one's going to take this. Tell you a little story to entertain you while I'm trying to get these screws on the slot.
Is the story about Jed?
No, this is actually a true story.
The old mountain there?
It's a sad story also.
Oh, Yeller.
We have a place over here within 10 miles of my house that actually does, they used to build the explosive cartridge, I will put it to that way, that inflated your airbags in your car. And basically that thing that fits I'm going to have to move this stool so I can look down and see where I'm trying to put this. That thing is actually it's like a rocket fuel, because think about this: from the time your bumper comes in and starts to compress, the sensor sends the signal to. Wow, why am I having such a hard time getting this thing in?
You don't know what you're doing.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
God, it's like Christmas with my family.
I think most of the people out there in the chat are in here just to hear this go on. I mean, really.
The witty banter.
Yeah.
What, they don't have any family?
Hey, I would be nothing without this. I will tell everyone out there right off the bat, I'd be nothing without my panel.
When you have open time, Russ, we're supposed to be heckling you.
Yeah.
Where's Ken Moon when we need him?
Really?
I'm with you on that one, Dixon.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Let's
yeah,
try
but
this
if
one.
Ken was here, we wouldn't be heckling Ken. We'd have to.
Okay, finally I got this one started. Anyway, but the place built the cartridges that inflate your airbags less than 10 miles from me. They'd had several little mishaps, and they actually had, when they sit down at the table to assemble this thing, they actually had wristbands that were on a cable that they had to hook to their wrist.
It's called a static strap.
Exactly, to prevent static electricity from them and putting these things together, because they could go boom while you're putting it together. And they actually had blowout panels in the walls. It was kind of like a metal building, but they had blowout panels in the walls and the ceiling. So in the case of an explosion, it would blow these panels out and relieve the pressure rather than bringing the whole building down on top of everybody that was inside. So the building was designed for what they were doing. To make a long story short, I'm not sure. I don't even remember it happened so many years ago. I was on the hazmat team, so we responded out there. But to make a long story short, the one person that was putting one of them together one day, there was a mishap and it went boom. And it was a big boom. And I will put it to you this way. They didn't find him as a whole human being. And it injured a lot of people and blew the panels out of the building, which what they were designed to do, to relieve the pressure, to keep from the building from collapsing and coming down and trapping everybody. So, but yeah, that's the reason I learned about static electricity. And then I got into computers and learned about having to discharge it before that. So anyway, the front panel's on now. What time are we having out there, guys?
8:54 by my little clock.
Yeah, well, this is probably going to go to 10 o'clock. I can tell you that right now. So now I need to put that little part in that we were talking about here on the side. And that is the
Z and stop.
Yep, this is in the bag, right? This bag right here with the filament. And this is the bad boy right here.
But with static electricity, 50,000 volts is not uncommon to get.
No, it's high voltage, but very low amp.
It's very low current. It's not going to.
Yeah.
The voltage, the static electricity itself will not.
But the thing about it is, it doesn't matter due to the fact that.
Yeah, with when you're.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. It can make you kill yourself.
Okay, so.
But
this must be the little extrusion part that you were talking about, Dixon, that will not allow this thing to go all the way down.
Right. I think with that tab on, you really can't set it at 32 millimeters or whatever. Try it. See, it hits. Has to be nipped off.
I can already tell you it's going to hit, because this is going to lay flush, and that's not going to allow that to go all the way down.
Yeah, it's a small flaw.
Yeah. What he's talking about here is this little piece right here. It actually sticks out further. If you can see my fingernail coming up, and it's going to catch underneath it, than the flat surface. So this little part right here is not going to allow this thing to come down to come to my line. Okay.
You got a Dremel, fix it.
Well, I can fix it. That's not a problem. I just wished I'd have kind of knew that before. Because half of my toolbox is covered up by computer stuff.
Your little cutter you got there, you can nip it right off with that. The cutter you got with your tools.
And it won't hurt it?
Right. You just nip that end off so you can slide it down.
Hold on, I might be able to get to a pair of
your little blue cutter you got there. That's what I nipped it off with.
I got to a pair of side cutters.
There you go.
So, see what I'm doing? This little part right here sticks out. So I'm going to hold this little plastic piece and I'm going to snip it off. Now it still is sticking out some. So probably I'm going to reach back behind me and grab some sandpaper, which I have on a block right here, and sand this.
So what part was supposed to be 32 millimeters off the bottom?
This
of the
part
base?
is supposed to be 32 millimeters, and you can't get it to the 32 millimeters because of that little tab. Now, one of the videos I did watch putting this thing together discussed that, but the No Limits video did not discuss that. So he said, from my understanding, some of these have it and some of it don't. So I've sanded this down flush so that now I'm pretty well certain that this will come all the way down to the 32 millimeter. So now I have to, these are,
do those have little LEDs on that actually show?
This is like lock nuts or T-nuts.
T-nuts.
Yeah, T-nuts. But I mean the switch itself on mine, it actually has a little LED.
I don't think this does.
Contact,
No.
they light up.
No, that's just a simpler micro switch. It doesn't have the sensor on it, the LED sensor. It's just a micro switch.
Let me set this back up for a second so
I actually cheat on that piece and keep it a little higher because that way when you first do the auto calibration or the auto homing, it won't crash into your bed, your nozzle.
Well, we're fixing to get to that in just about 2 seconds. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. I know with a CNC that you can have that happen, so I was wondering about that. So I should actually put this maybe a millimeter higher.
Yes, I cheat it and then I leave them a little. I actually just tighten one up, and then that way you can tweak it and manually bring your head down close to the board, the thickness of a piece of paper, fold it in half, and then because once that tip crashes into that bed, then it sort of squishes it, and then the party's over.
Right. Okay. So see, guys.
So you're right about.
I have all the professionals. See now that goes. Those T-nuts go into this slot. I've got them lined up and they fall all the way down. And let's go back over here. So that part I was talking about that I just cut off and filed off is this part right here. It would have stopped me at this point. Here is my mark that I made earlier. I could have not gotten anywhere close to that mark with this. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's the whole thing behind this notch is to keep it high up so that it won't go all the way down. You ever thought about that?
Yes, but you actually have to get below that point when you're calibrating. So it does have to get cut off because it's actually too high. It's
all right. Well, I'm going to leave this just I can see this line. I'm lining it up. I know y'all can't see it. So I'm going to leave it probably 1 or 2 millimeters higher than the line at your suggestion.
Is that the Z stop or the Z stop?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm only going to tighten up one for right now.
It almost looks like that was supposed to go inside the T-track, and then it would lock that at 32 millimeters.
No,
it wouldn't be able to go up.
I would think that, but it doesn't. And one of the
Okay.
videos that I did watch on putting this together said that exact same thing. But then I watched on another video and they said, well, some of these come with it and some of them don't. So that's the reason I had to wait till tonight to see if this one came with that night. But I am glad I have a professional here on board tonight giving me instructions. Dixon's my man. Okay. So we got that.
He's casing up because he needs you right now.
As soon as he's done with it, boy.
Okay. So we have that done. Now we need to go with the Z-axis motor, which is on the back side of this here. And that is this motor goes here behind this upright. Can't go over here because the power supply is there. So, and that gets put on with two M4 18P. M4 18P. It's in this little bag right here. And these, I believe, go through here. Through this front. As such. Wow, as many times as I watched that video, I would have already thought I'd been through with this thing by now. All right. And then you're going to want to tighten them up. As such. And I don't think you can use anything other than the strength of this long bar because there's no way to get in there with the other handle. So, all right, we got that on. Then you want to add the Z threaded rod. Down in there. And from my understanding, you at this point do not want to tighten it. You want to leave it loose until you get the top piece on, correct?
Yes.
Yep. So, all right. So we have that on there. So now I'm ready to flip the page. Now for the fun part. The X-axis. That's the one of these two bars here.
By the way, Russ, I don't know. I took off for a second. We've got thunderstorms and stuff here. Might die. My electricity might go away. But Jimbo said that to tell you that the Gators were up 24-0.
Holy crap! Good. Go Gators. Okay, there's a definite difference between these. Number one of them's longer than the other. And the whole part is different on these, as you can see. So it's not too hard to tell that this one is going to be this top extruded part, because hole to fit it in line with this. So this is my X-axis rail right here. I got to be careful I don't shove that thing off the end of the table. So
That would be exciting.
Yeah, we're going to be putting that together next with this.
Would end our PG rating.
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't be pretty.
We'd find out what their return policy is, though. That's important.
Now, if I can figure out. It's actually the one with the 3 holes.
Yeah, this part is the trickiest part.
Yeah, because you've got to get.
If you face the machine, the front side of the machine at you, them 3 holes for your Y piece, which is your K2, has to be where that bracket's going to go for the 3 rolls riding up on the opposite side. It's tricky.
You got that straight. Okay, so this, trying to see how this thing sits, which I believe is like that. So this should come in here. Wow, you're gonna have to give me a second.
Yeah,
and let me tell you, I watched.
That's tricky. If you look at that step 6, that might help a lot, that picture, because then you know where the Y bracket's got to go, but then you know how that rolls on that beam. That's tricky.
Yeah, I'd say it's tricky. Give me a few seconds here, people. I will, I assure you, figure this out before it's all said and done. I say that encouragingly.
If you hold that beam, that X beam in your hand.
Aha, I figured it out. Yep. Gotcha. Goes on like that.
There you got it. And then the 3 screws should be on the other side for that K2 bracket. You got it, I think.
Yep. Okay, and this takes the M4 by 16s, and they are the M. M4 by M5. M4 by 16s. Now, do they take a washer on the back of them? Yes, they do.
This part is the hardest part of the build. The rest is pretty simple.
Yeah, I was watching that guy trying to put this thing together in a video, and I was going like, that looks like that's fun. Because these have to go in here between these plates. So if you're wanting me to get my fingers out of the way so you can see, that ain't gonna happen. I will tell you this much. I got one in the hole, and let me get it like started.
I'm back.
Before I show you what I did, so I won't lose its placement.
Russ, are you going to do a Halloween thing this year?
I'm hoping so. Okay, so you have to insert your tool through the back side of this frame to be able to go over into the screw, which is on the inside of the frame. I'm not going to tighten all this all the way up so I can get the other screw in. The screw actually sits down in here. That's where the screw sits. So I got a second one that goes in back here. And the reason I say if you think you're going to be able to see in there, that ain't going to happen because my fat fingers. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to take it over here and be able to get it closer to me. Be able to get that screw in. Wish me luck. Actually, wow, it went right in. Holy crap. I'm lucky on that. Okay. So I'm trying to get this so y'all can halfway see. There you go. There's enough. I just was able to install this screw right here. Can y'all see it? See how it's protruding out?
Oh, yeah.
And then this one back here is flat. So you have to go through the hole on this, be able to get down in here and tighten this screw. And yes, that was a pain in the buttocks.
Russ, did you install any slicing software on your computer yet?
And not as of yet.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach in here. No, I wanted to talk to a few people that have and tighten these up about what software, what's available. I know there's a lot of free software.
Are
That
you
might
Cura?
be our show after I get back from surgery. We might do that show on the 3D software. Okay, that was fun. Woo! Even broke a sweat on that one. All right. So we've got that done, and I know that goes on here like this. So now we've got to put the other side on, which is that's not the part with the motor goes on. What goes on next?
Yes, you got to put that you'll have to get that N on so you can put on that bracket, that K2.
Okay, but where does this go?
That's it. That's your extruder.
And it goes on like this.
Let's see.
Yeah, I believe so.
It faces the head. Nope, the head's got to face toward that little logo you got by your right hand. So you got to flip it on the others to the front side. There you go.
Yeah,
Now
like
I got to
that.
see. Yep, there you go. And you're gonna have to loosen that eccentric nut. Or okay, it went on. Good.
Yeah, it just slid right on.
And you don't want to put that too tight or you get shifting. But if you just snug it up where it doesn't wiggle on the beam, you're set.
Okay.
So if you grab it and it doesn't wiggle, you're good.
Those rails and those wheels with the eccentrics reminds me of the X-Carve. The X-Carve uses.
Yeah, it doesn't move.
Then you're good.
All right, I'm missing. All right, help me out here, guys. Did I unbox the piece that goes on the end of this?
Yeah, I seen that bracket somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I thought I did too, but I'm
You
looking on my table.
You moved it or up front.
You said you was going to put some stuff on the table behind you. Is it behind you?
Yeah, I'm looking. That's where I'm looking.
Check the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah, no, really. Oh, this is so much fun when you do stuff like this live. Because there is no editing.
Hey, this thing's got a Bowden extruder and filament extrusion system. Is there any benefit to a Bowden versus a direct drive?
Yes. One good thing about a direct drive is you can set a direct drive up to do Ninja Flex, where a Bowden tube you can't. But the advantage to a Bowden tube is you don't have that heavy weight of all that direct drive riding on your X. So you get better. I think you get better prints because you don't have that heavy weight. You don't get this shifting of the weight going back and forth.
Guys, I don't see that part.
Yeah. That Bowden tube's that white tube that you see there in the upper part of the. Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm going back to the box.
Did it fall on the floor? You had it out.
I'm going back to the box and check. And guess what?
It's in the box.
It's in the box.
Woohoo! I get the prize. I beat you up.
You get to finish assembling it.
I did not take it out of the box, so there it is.
I had direct drives on some of my printers. I actually switched them all because I'm not using Ninja Flex because of the cost for the materials. So I actually switched most of mine to the Bowden system, and the prints got smooth as glass. They got better.
Okay, this is the part where the guy that I was watching on the video kind of went a little. Maybe he didn't. Now that I'm looking, yeah, he went a little different. He went ahead and attached this belt at this time before he put the actual ends on. So he did a little bit different. So I'm going to attempt to do what he did, and we'll see how this works out. Now, what you have to do is there is a gear, a cogged gear down in here, and this belt has teeth on it. So you want to make sure that the belt goes in the right direction. In other words, you don't want the smooth side. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I don't know how it goes on. The smooth side. So you want to pull the belt through. And then you want to slip it on the back side. Of the gear.
Katie's dog just jumped up there to make sure you put the belt on in the right
Yeah,
orientation.
really.
He's gone now. Looks like you're doing okay.
No, he's still here. He's just kind of out of sight there.
Well, he doesn't look panicked anymore.
Okay, so have the belt around the gear. And the cogs are on each side with a smooth side facing out. So I'm going to pull it out along this way. And the extruder goes down like this. Now, does the belt go underneath that or over that? Give me 1 second to look at this. This is just the way it goes. So you have to kind of like push this down on here. This belt has to come around the end of this. And then let me flip it over. And then one part of this belt goes into this clip here. And the other part of the belt goes into the clip there, like that. So this belt will pull on this side this way, this side this way. Then what he did was he put this is what your belt tightens up on. I'm trying to think of which side this should go on.
The bottom side of your table.
Yeah, this side.
Yes.
Yep. It's got the T-nuts in it. So you have to line them. Oh, my back is killing me here. Let me pull my stool up so I can sit down.
Those T-nuts, you can always put them in sideways, the narrow way, and they automatically, if they're loose enough, they automatically spin and lock.
Yeah, I really like that about him too.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I heard that they did that, but I just always kind of like line them up and put them in the first way. And there we have it. And you get this as close as you can get it. And then you pull the belt out over the tensioner. Then you have to kind of like flip this thing over. And then what you want to do is apply thumb pressure on this. Push it out. And this big one.
The upright is blocking your view, Russ.
You want to apply thumb pressure, pushing this out, and then tighten up these two T-nuts. You don't want a tremendous amount of pressure on this, from everything that I read. You just want the belt good and snug.
Yeah, just snug. Exactly.
Yep. And tighten these T-nuts down. Okay. That's on. So then now I know I flipped this over this way. And then that's where this piece gets attached. Like so. And that uses let me get my glasses on here. See, this is where the instructions are. Nope, there, it's up there. It's M4 by 16. Yep, it's M4 by 16. And I'm assuming they go all the way through. M5 by 2s. M4 by 16s. And we have one with a lock washer and two with a lock washer. And they go through this panel. Into this bag. What time are we looking at, guys?
It's 8:29 here, so that must be 9:29 by you.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's correct.
I mean, we've still got 35 people watching, so.
How much is left?
Not a whole lot left. It should go fairly fast.
Russ Meadows had to take off.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand.
And Dixon said he had to go too.
Oh, Dixon, you're leaving?
No.
No, I'm just joking.
He's giving you a hard time.
Don't panic.
I beat you to it, Katie.
Yeah, you did. I got my hands full here.
I'm going to slap the out of you next time I see you, Al.
The filament out of me?
Yeah, and you're going to have to end up coming back to Lakeland, from my understanding. So,
Yes, yes. At least one time.
yeah, so that will be my opportunity.
This dog here is up for adoption. Or any takers out there?
There you go. Mom's house sold already, Russ.
Yeah. Oh, it did?
Yes,
Wow, that was quick.
that was. Oh, and I mean, it's great. They offered more than what the asking price was.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yes, yes.
Okay, we got that done. Okay. So next, if I'm not mistaken, this thing goes on top. Yep.
If you hold that up to your ear and you twang that belt and you hear a twangy country song, then you got it tight enough.
Kind of like a scroll saw blade, a C sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you twang it and it's you hear Chinese people in the background working, then it's too tight.
There you go.
If it either sounds like a C, a D, or a G, and it's country, then you know you got it adjusted okay.
Yeah.
Okay, question. Oh, that's coming out the front. I mean, I don't like the way this cord with the hose the way it is. I'd rather have it going out the back.
Oh, did it go
Yeah,
underneath?
I got it. It came free. So yeah, because I want this sitting like this.
That part came already tie wrapped and stuff like that with the bow.
Yes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty. I had to put every single piece of wire and tube and everything. You know, that is pretty good. That makes it an easier build, that's for sure.
Okay, so this sits down on there just like the way I've got it. And then you have to screw
To get that on, I actually had to pull that screw out of that coupling on by the motor and spin it on the top part first. I don't.
Well, you know, that's what I'm looking at because it flat
had
out.
to come. It had to be out of there to line it up right.
Yeah.
Hopefully the stepper motor is lined enough so you don't have to loosen that up too.
You're exactly right though, because wow, it almost acts like it's in a bind.
Yeah, it has to be out of there, and you gotta. It's a little tough to screw it in that coupling on top. It has to get screwed up farther.
Right. That's what I'm doing. I'm screwing it up.
Yeah.
Way up higher.
Steve Carmichael just asked, what color of filaments do you have, Russ? And somebody, I can't remember who it was, asked if, it was Matt, if you're going to have your first print tonight. So
I don't know we're going to have time to do the first print tonight. The way it's all.
What color of filament do you have? I know you got a bunch
blue, I have blue and black. I wanted blue and red, but they were out of red when I ordered.
Where'd you order it from, Russ? Was it
Amazon? They were the cheapest.
Yeah, what brand though?
I think Inland we got, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was Inland, Russ.
I think it was Inland. It was like 12 something a roll.
Yeah,
that rod should drop right in that coupling. If it doesn't, then you might have to loosen up the stepper motor because otherwise you'll have binding.
Yeah, that's what
if it doesn't line up perfect, then the stepper motor has to be loosened up and tighten it all up later.
Well, that came up quick.
Oh.
Looks like we lost Elegant for his little lightning storm he's got going on.
I mean, how far does it have to go inside that stepper motor?
That coupling, you can see to make sure the set screws are out far enough. It should drop in there half the distance. Is Al located in Texas?
Yeah, Al's in Texas.
Yeah, there's some heavy duty storms shooting across right now.
Oh yeah, after I got it down in there, yeah, it slid in. So
Yeah, those zero backlash couplings should have like a some place where you can feel it stopping at the rust. They won't fall away all the way through.
well, that's what I was wondering if I should loosen this up. Top. Because it said you should be, there it goes. Yeah, it said you should be able to push this thing down without too much of a problem. So
Yeah, don't spin those stepper motors if after it's plugged in. And you got it all hooked
yeah, it'll
up.
blow the circuit board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
but
blow
it's
the
not plugged in, so it doesn't
transistor out.
matter. All right, so I got those tightened back up. I loosened them up and moved it, and it went fairly freely. So, all right, so we got that done. Now to putting the top rail on, which is this rail here. I'm gonna go ahead. That's another thing. You can install the caps in the end of this first. And it said that it was a little easier to install. You have little safety caps to go on the end so that you don't cut your arm. You just basically pop them on. I'm going to give them a little bit of a tap. Yeah, that snugs them up when you hit them with the end of the screwdriver. And that snugged them right up.
Oh, wait, there we are. Woohoo, I'm back.
All right, and so we get that top rail on, and that one takes M5 by 25s. And I have extra parts, so I guess they send you extra parts.
Russ, any real man has parts left over after they build something. Come on.
Well, I guess. I mean, I like it when they send me a couple of extra parts, yes.
That always makes me go looking for what I missed.
And it also it comes with an extra tip, if I'm not mistaken.
And you can get different tips too. You probably have a 0.4 millimeter tip. They make them smaller diameter and big. They're pretty inexpensive too. Haven't ever printed with anything bigger than a 0.4. I bet you have, Dixon.
I never did because I wanted to get such good resolution, because you can go up to 0.3 and really hammer out some PLA filament in a hurry, but then it looks like when you're 3D printing a concrete house, your resolution isn't as good.
Yeah, it seems like you would end up using up a lot of filament for a less quality job, or wouldn't look as good.
Exactly.
Dixon, you ever use the stainless tips or anything like that, or what kind do you use?
Not used all the ones that came with the machines, because I'm gonna get there, but I'm so busy. I'd like to try the material mixed with your carbon fiber and that. It's extremely strong, but I've been getting good results with nylon and ABS too.
I think I saw a stainless steel tip the other day for around $20, and then there's like ruby tipped ones that are like in the 80s, and I don't know why you need to have ruby tipped, but
That's for carbon fiber, but I'll tell you what, I'd stay away from that because I've been hearing that they fall out and they're not the best for your money.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Okay. Finishing up these. And I think the next part is to wire it.
I asked Steve Carmichael what he made with his. He said he's got a video out where he did shop vac hose attachments and adapters and stuff because they were an odd size. So I think that's where this is really kind of cool because you can go out to the shop and say, hey, I need a part for this, or I want to make some, finishing points I can set things on, or I need to make little squares so I can clamp boards together better. And
Right.
you just print them
I
out,
totally agree.
So one of the things I didn't do that I wanted to do earlier was to see if this the way these clips are designed.
My machine, they glued it on, so I just put the glass over the top of the hole.
Well, I think this one is not glued on, and that's what I'm fixing to check.
Yeah, that'd be a good deal.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. He had clips on there. It was like, hey, look, we give you clips so you can put the glass on top.
Yes, it is not glued.
Cool.
Oh, there you go.
So it's got sticky stuff on the back. So what you could do is pull that off and stick it if you wanted to.
You know, I would think that having a piece of rubber between the glass and the aluminum would keep it from heating up as efficiently. I mean, yeah, it'd eventually get to the temperature, but
yeah, we'll discuss that later. For right now, I'm just going to pull this off.
Yeah,
I think, and leave it off, and then I'll just decide if I want to put it on or put the glass on. But you're right. I've got a infrared thermometer as far as and I can I can put the plastic on and shoot the glass and see which one heats up the quickest.
Yeah. The time period, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, Russ. Yes.
Okay.
What's really neat about this machine is they went right away with a 24-volt power supply, which is great because the 12, the bed takes too long to heat up. This one heats up pretty quick.
Right.
With a
CR10, I'm pulling out all the wires at this point. To see where we go from here. So I know that this black and red from watching the video and this black and red go together, and it's pretty foolproof here. It's rounded on one side, squared on the other, so you really cannot put this in backwards.
I love keyed connectors.
Yeah. You really can't put this on backwards right here. Okay. So that's the first part. And then I know that this goes in underneath. All right, I've shoved this forward, so now I need to shove it back.
Ken finally showed up out in the chat there.
Who did?
Ken.
He must have gotten turned down.
Oh, he's all done.
Said that, and I didn't. Katie. Right.
Goes underneath here, and I know this goes into the last connector on the board.
Hey, Ken's in the chat.
Ken Moon?
Moon Pie Creation.
Moon Pie. Okay, so I know that goes there. And then we have, get my glasses back on.
They're not glasses, they're visual enhancement aids.
Hey,
This is the Z-axis large cable. And I know this is the Z motor right here, and it really can't go anywhere else, trust me.
hey, Dave Hart is asking, does the company ship these assembled or straight out of the box, or is this just a kit?
No, they ship them the same way. If you watch this video and watch me take it out of the box, that's the only way they ship them.
So some assembly required.
Some assembly acquired, yes.
Now, mine I had to build was every single piece. Yeah.
This is kind of like a half assembled, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to actually solder the wires to the bottom.
Okay, so I got this.
Wow.
This Z-axis cable here. It says it's got a little yellow thing on it that says Z. It's right here. It can't go anywhere else other than this. So on the Z-axis motor, I mean, it's a short cable right here. And then I'm sure that this is the Z-axis, and it says Z, that goes on the bottom of this, what do you call it?
End stop switch.
End stop switch. So the Z-axis in stop switch. That's where that goes.
Yeah, IKEA style.
Yeah, it's an IKEA type build. Okay. So we have here, we have a X.
Chris.
We have an E, which means to me the extruder, and an X. So this one here is E. All right, this is my extruder right here. I know that, correct, Dixon? And so this is going to plug in here.
Yes.
Yeah, the one that white tube's going to.
Yep, that feeds it.
Oh, the big pain in
Okay.
the butt spraying on it.
Jim, you're kind of low, Jim.
I don't know what's going on. I got.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch over to my headset and see, or my headphones, and see if that works better.
And then I see that this is the X. And that goes in here. And then I find underneath here is the X axius. Where I plug in this at the bottom. So that's on board. That's on board. That's on board. That's on board. I might have to do something with the way these cables are, but so far, so good. I believe that's it.
Fire it up.
Who's gonna say it first? The smoke test.
I believe that's it.
Might be able to call Russ Sparky from now on after he plugs this in.
Really?
Hey, when I was assembling mine, there was sparks and smoke.
So I shouldn't have to worry about putting the filament in right now, should I?
No.
Yeah, I'm just going to zero it out to the table, so to speak.
Yeah, and I would make sure that micro switch is slid up high enough so you don't crash to the bed.
All right. So
Because what I did was after you home it, I then it stays in that left hand corner, and then I turn the machine off, and you put a piece of paper under it, and you zero it out with the tip, and then I slid the micro switch up just until you heard it click, and then you're pretty darn close.
isn't it great to have a professional here helping you? What I wouldn't do for wasn't for these guys that are around and assist me. All right, so I've lifted it up quite a bit. So there's no way it should hit, right? If I'm going up.
Exactly. When you hit the auto home, when it comes up, you hit that auto home, the bed will go back, the X will go to the left and hit the home switch, and then the Z will come down and tap that switch, and you should not be crashing into the bed because you got it up higher.
Okay.
The switch up higher. So you'll see then if it's off an 1/8 of an inch or 5 millimeters or 10 millimeters.
And
All
Russ,
right.
it might tap it, come up and try to go down and tap it again. So don't freak out if it looks like it's starting to try to bounce on it.
Yeah, it'll do a double tap and then just have your finger on the red button just in case. I think it will be fine.
There ain't no red button.
On
Yeah, I wish
the
these
power
had a red-
supply.
Oh, that button.
Yeah.
That's your emergency stop.
Okay. I gotcha.
It's a Chinese e-stop.
Yes.
All right, so power cord's going in. We're plugging it in over here.
There we go. Someone dial 9-1.
Hold your finger over that one
I
button.
need a shot of Jack Daniels.
If the screen goes blank, we know something went seriously wrong.
Yeah, I think I need a shot of Jack Daniels to get me prepared for this. It's got this plastic over the screen I'm taking off.
Yeah.
All right, so I turn the power on. Let me back this up where y'all can.
Did you plug the LCD board in?
Yes,
You're good to go.
I did that in the beginning.
Yes.
That was one of the first things I did, actually. So, okay, so turn the power on.
Ooh.
It says Ender.
Ooh. Got that little Chinese dragon thing going there.
Well, no, it says a whole bunch of just crazy crap that I can't read.
It's Chinese.
Give it a chance to boot.
Oh, it's booting.
Might.
Yeah, it should say
Yeah.
now. It should say on the bottom Creality 3D, and you should have your temperature and fan logo.
No, mine only took like 4 seconds to come
Yeah,
on. You can't read the screen, Russ?
No, I can. It's got Ender 3. It's got 22 degrees, 20.
Okay, that's the main screen. You're good.
All right. Yeah, it came up this instantly. It didn't boot.
Okay.
Yep. Now you push on the button once.
I know the extruder is 22 degrees. The plate is 23 degrees. The fan is 1%. So I push the button once.
Push the button once.
It says info screen.
Okay, go down to. It should go down to prepare. One down,
Yep.
and click it again.
Yep.
And then you see the second one down says auto home.
Home.
You go down to that and click it, and she'll do your auto home.
Keep your
All
hands
right.
on the
One
way.
thing I do need to do before I do that is I didn't do this, and that is you need to put this in
Yeah.
to here.
When
the
you
Bowden, the
when you
Bowden
get to
tube.
when you get to the right step, that tie wrap right next to your nozzle. Yes, slide that up higher. That'll give you a problem. I slid that up like 4 or 5 inches. There you go. There you go. It's not pinching off your. There you go. You got it.
Okay. Isn't it nice to have such a man? I am so glad I found you.
Thank you.
Me and you are going to become bestest friends. All right. So let's go back to now that I've got that. I got the Bowden tube plugged in. Let's go back to prepare and then auto home.
Steve Carmichael says we're about to find out what those extra parts were for.
Well, this
You got to have extra parts or you're not a man.
the table moved.
I
to the
didn't see
back,
it.
and the
Z is going down.
the Z-axis is going down.
There he goes.
It's alive! It's
You did
alive!
it. You did it right.
Good job.
And I want to tell you how far away it is from the table.
Yeah, Dave Hart says this could be your print shop confession right here, Russ. So
Right.
Okay, the tip of the extruder is below the table.
Oh, it's too low. It's a good thing then. It's a good thing it's off to the side, right?
Yeah, it's off to the side, and it's definitely below the table by a good 1/8 of an inch or more.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta slide that up high. I thought I left mine up. Take that. You can turn it off, and by hand you can turn that Z back up, and then slide that micro switch up the whole distance that you're too low, plus a little bit.
Okay. So turn it off.
Yep, I just switch on the power supply. You turn that off, and then turn that screw by hand to raise it.
And the
Get that
Step.
micro switch up there, then yeah, where it clicks. Slide the micro switch up where it clicks now.
well, then he still has to go up
Wow,
another 1/8 of an inch.
A good 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, it's. I left mine high just so it wouldn't crash. So I'm glad yours was off to the side.
It was behind the bed. It went down behind the bed.
Yeah.
I'm a good 1/8 of an inch off the top of the bed.
There you go. Now I would just slide that micro switch up so it doesn't crash.
If I can find the right dead burn. Okay. So that's done.
Well, that proves you have everything wired right.
Okay. So do it again. Go to auto home.
Yes.
Will it actually lift up?
I don't remember. Yes. If it's up higher than the micro switch, then it's okay. It won't lift. It'll start homing down the Z.
All right, here. I want to turn this off then. I want to lift it up. I'm going to run this up some. There we go. Okay, now we'll turn the power back on.
adjusting the switches is fun, but leveling the bed is even more fun.
Yeah. That's where you start pulling the hair out.
Now that's why I kept asking you, Russ, if it had auto leveling, if it has auto.
Okay, so no, it does not have auto leveling. All right, so it homed again, and it is above the bed about, I'm gonna say 1/8 of an inch.
Okay, now turn the machine off.
Okay.
Slide your X axis more toward the center of the bed. Move it over to your right. Slide the X over by hand. Just slide it over by hand.
To the center of the bed.
No, move the bed back now a little. Move the bed back a little. There you go, right there. There you go. All right, now you get a piece of paper and you fold it in half and you slide it under there.
I get a piece of paper.
Sure. The
Sorry, Russ.
or your little cardboard warranty card. You can slide that
Business
under there.
card. A business card would be good.
Yeah.
I got it. I got a piece right here. Hold on to your butts.
And Dixon, you said fold it in half, right? So two
Yeah.
thick pieces of paper?
Yes, because we're not heating it up. It takes too long in this process. So we're going to do it cold, because when you heat it up, it's going to drop down another 1/10 of a millimeter. So we're going to do it cold. So I fold it over in half and give you a bigger gap.
Exactly.
Okay, so now what do I do?
Slide that in the bed.
Yep.
Okay, and now take that by hand, take your screw and drop it down, and then move that paper until it just rubs on the paper. There you go. Turn it by hand and get it down. Make sure your micro switch can be loosened up now, so you can have it way down. You can slide your micro switch way down.
And when you slide the paper underneath her, it sounds like it vibrates.
Yeah, it's just rubbing it. You just turn that screw until it just starts to rub on the paper as you go down.
Yeah, this is kind of like the same way I do it with the CNC.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
It'll start rubbing, and then you're set. And then I move the micro switch up, and just until you hear it click, and then tighten it down, and you're going to be darn close. And then the rest you can level the bed on the fly. And you have to remember, this is all gonna change once you get your piece of glass.
Okay, so
you're not printing on the bed.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it.
There you go. You're going to be pretty darn close in that spot. So then you slide your micro switch up, and all of a sudden you hear it click.
Yep.
And you're going to be pretty darn close. Then you tighten. You might have to tweak it again when you'd leveled all four corners. So I just tightened up one screw instead of two.
Right.
And you hear it click, and you tighten it up in that spot.
Okay. So I did that. So now what?
Now I slide it to all four corners, and then you turn your screws under your bed until you get that same feeling.
Okay.
And you're going to have to put the paper under there and slide it by hand real slow. And if you feel the paper pinching, then you got to turn that clockwise to bring the bed down on the springs. Right. And you do that on all four corners.
Hey, Russ, try to feel when you're moving the thing over there that it's not dragging against the glass or anything like that, or the bed.
Yeah, with the paper under it, that's why you want to do it with the paper under. Yeah. If it pinches tight, you got to turn them springs down underneath to get that corner better.
Right.
Just like the CNC. And then you do that, you move it around, but have the paper under it so you don't wreck the tip in case the springs are too high, your bed is too high. And then do that on all, what you're doing right now, you do it on all the other three corners, and you'll be pretty darn set.
Easy peasy.
And then the rest by looking at it, the rest of the leveling, once you got your glass or whatever, you'll do this all again. The rest of the leveling, you'll run a big square around the outside of that and do it on the fly. Then you get it right on the money.
Hey, now I have a question. Since he doesn't have a glass, shouldn't he actually put that ender plastic on there instead of?
Yeah. If he's actually going to have time to print, he should have calibrated. Put that on there. But
tonight, but I get what you're saying. Is he's just showing me what to do, because I'm going to end up putting a piece of glass on here, and then I'll have to recalibrate it back to the glass.
Yes, you'll have to bring the micro switch, bring your
right
Z way up, and then
accommodate
for the glass.
I get exactly what you're saying. So I have to go. There's 4 wheels, and the wheels are underneath each one of these screws. So I will have to start off in the center, like you said, after the glass is installed, then go from each corner and level that thing out.
Yeah, because you're adjusting each corner, you might have to go around the bed maybe 2 or 3 times, and then you'll have it. The thickness of that paper.
Yes, because it can change. Once you move one, the other one kind of might move again.
Exactly.
Yep.
And there's kind of some debate out there with the glass too. People like to get like Home Depot mirrors or go to IKEA and get the mirror, but I don't think the ones you can get there would fit on that bed. I think they'd be too.
Right.
Yeah, they'd be too big.
Right.
They're 12 by 12s.
Yeah,
But
I take the
people-
12 by 12s and cut them up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the people
you
will
can
say
cut the 12 by 12 up.
Yeah, you get
So
Cutter
Russ,
or-
you're going to get the experience of cutting a piece of mirror
yeah.
Yes, I've had experience cutting mirrors.
twice.
And you want to use mirror because that has to be 100% flat, or the reflection won't work. If you get a piece of glass, the average piece of glass you buy has bowls in it and lumps in it, and it's
Mhm.
all crooked because it's not floating glass. Floating glass, you'd have to pay some bigger money to buy a piece of floating glass 100% flat,
Right.
where the mirrors are cheap.
No, I get what you're saying. All right, guys. So, any more questions out there in the chat before we? Thank you, all y'all, for hanging on with me on the panel. I appreciate that, and then for all y'all still out there. Wow, we've got like 38 people. I think I look over. Yes, in the chat. So wow. So,
You want me to show them the file, Russ, that I sent you?
Sure. Let me transfer. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Let me
Okay.
transfer over back to the other camera,
I could show them on my camera the file I sent you.
and which is HP Wide Vision. Save. Now let me unlock off of me, so that when you talk, it will go over to you. So yeah, go ahead. Should come over to you when you start talking.
This is the file I sent Russ.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
It's a
Great.
small sign.
Yeah. Great.
Digital
Great.
Patterns by Russ Clarity.
Yeah.
So that's going to be what he's going to print, huh?
Yes, that's the file I sent them, and it's
Yeah, that's what I'll print first.
5 millimeters high.
So yes, it does come with. So when people ask about this thing, it comes with all the tools you need, and it actually comes with all the bolts you need plus more. There was actually more bolts left over in the bags that I didn't even use. Not a lot, but like these two. There's two M5 by or M6 by 45s. These were the two long ones that went up through the bottom of these rails. There are two of those. I've got two. Those are M6 by 45. These are M5 by 25.
Russ, don't you have a spool holder on that also that needs to go
yes,
on the
and I
power
haven't even
supply?
put that. That's going to take up two of these, and I haven't put that on yet. I wasn't going to worry about it tonight, but there is. While we're standing here talking, I'll do that. It is right here. Is the spool holder. I think it takes. It's probably these two with the T-nuts. And I probably should have put that in before I put these end things on. So
You can slide them T-nuts without it, and yeah, it takes that size. The thing I don't like about most of these machines too is you'll put that spool holder on top, and then you have to have some kind of roller, or I'm going to 3D print something for the side, because otherwise you wear that hole out in that extruder where you feed it in.
You mean over here?
On your extruder, yes. Now you got that roll on top of your machine, and then it's coming all the way around, and it's pulling on that top, and it'll wear out within 2 prints.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I put a spool holder and on the side of the machine on a rack for now until I get something made.
And the good thing is you can make one with the 3D printer.
Yes.
Thingiverse is your friend.
You'll have to explain that to me. But anyway, let me see what. Let me go back over here and see what the screws are that I need to put the. They are M5 by 8s. M5 by 8s. That are these two. And they sent me one extra nut and one extra. I mean, it's kind of nice when they send you a few extra parts because they sent me one extra T-nut and one extra.
If I'm not mistaken, they sent you a whole nozzle too, didn't they? A spare.
Yes, they sent me a whole nozzle.
That's really nice.
Whole 49 cents worth.
Yeah, they sent you this. This is the filament they sent, and then they sent a whole nozzle.
Nice.
And then I guess you would call it pipe cleaner.
Yep.
Extruder tip cleaner.
Man, be real careful with that thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's very.
It's
very,
got teeth, boy. It'll go all the way through your hand, and you won't even know it till it's through there.
You could use that to put a stent in you.
They probably do in China.
All right, guys. So I'm going to be putting this on, but I think we're going to go ahead and close out. What time will we have? I don't even. It is
10:13.
10:12. Wow. We went 2 hours and 15 minutes, roughly, give or take.
There's still 29 out there that I see. You probably see more.
Yep. Yeah, I got two numbers. One's over here and one's over here. I go by the one underneath this, and it's telling me I have 34 people.
Yeah, yours shows more. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have 29, 30 now.
30 now. Yeah, it fluctuates. It's like people go out and come back in.
Don't forget that thumbs up, folks.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, it's kind of neat. You got,
Before you
you
get off
got
here,
30.
we've got 20. Actually, that's hefty. 29 already thumbs up. Thank you very much.
Yes.
That is hefty. I appreciate that. We're going to get off here.
Give the man some kind of finger, y'all. Good grief.
Yeah, we're going to get off here. I appreciate you watching and putting up with me this long. And even you seen, I watched that video 4 or 5 times. I had the instructions here, and look how much Dixon had to help me. So that tells you, I mean, I don't consider myself a dumb individual. I think I'm pretty smart in some ways, but it tells you that you can do this, but it's kind of tricky as far as the instructions. I would actually suggest, if you're going to do this by yourself without somebody around like Dixon, is to actually have a computer set up with that video so you can watch it. So when you come to parts where you're having a hard time, you can watch that video. And what was the name of the No Limits 3D? Is where I found that video that I really liked the best. So you could have that No Limits 3D sitting up there and refer back to that. And that would be your version of having, where I have Dixon here, that would be your version of having him there so you could rewind it and watch it. It wasn't a hard. One of the trickiest parts was back to putting those 2 screws in, I believe, on the Z-axis and the extruder, getting them in there into that hole and getting that set up. It's a little, it don't go on the way you think it would. So that was a little bit different. But other than that, the rest of it was pretty straightforward. I can imagine you having too much trouble. But thank you out there for all you watching. I'm sorry I haven't been able to. Dan Inge, I got him. Dan Inge Ingerbritsen. Dan Inge Woodworking's out there. Jeff Robinson. Chris Nealon's out there. Thank y'all all for being out there. I don't have time to scroll back through the chat. Al, do you want to once again call off some names that have been out there in the chat with us?
Sure. Dennis Goodson, Chris Nealon, Niantic Woodcrafting, Dan Engie, Moonkai. Hey, Ken's there, right? Moonpie Creations, Michelle Marcoux, Jeff Robinson, Steve Carmichael.
Aussie Man.
Aussie Man, yes.
Andrew Haig.
David Robey.
Thank you very much for y'all for being out. And Steve, hey, dude, Thanks
Hey,
for coming over and watching me. I appreciate you coming and watching the show.
Awesome Wood Things.
Inspired Woodworks, Jimbo 5312.
And the quarry.
Thank you all for being out there and in the chat. I'm sorry I couldn't. I can see the chat over there, but I can't quite read the names because my
Thomas Grimm.
eyes are not all that great.
What I miss? What I miss?
And now it all falls apart.
I'm trying to tighten this stupid holder down. We're gonna call that a night. I'll tighten it up at the ball. Oh, I had it with this thing. Thank you so much, all y'all, for watching. I appreciate it very, very, very much.
Hey, Russ?
Yes.
Chris Nealon says, sing for us, Russ.
Oh, well, that's what I said. There's only one thing we have left to do. Thank you all for watching, and just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Remember, you don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here.
Nope, you got to get out of here. See you later.